Minasan, okarinasai. Today I'm going to recap everything that my two favorite pop groups were up to in the year of 2022. Gonna keep the intro short, so let's just jump right into it with Trysail. They were at the Sakura Music Festival's 5th anniversary, the Sony Music Ani-Song Festival, and they performed on day 3 of Anisama. All of them were also at the Music Rainbow 08 event. The group released 2 new songs, Lapis, the ending for the new season of Magia Record, and Hanarenai Kyori, the opening for Aha Rensan, that second song actually having a big release event at the Tower Records in Shibuya. They had a little event with the Pixis duo, I think it was at the Second Shot Festival. Actually, this could have been in 2021 as I only saw the Pixis girls posting about it this year, so I don't know, maybe they were just reminiscing. But finally, Trysail had a photo book for their tour from 2021. Actually, I'm also going to mention something real quick right here instead of mentioning it in all 3 of their sections. All of them were fairly active on their personal YouTubes, Shiina and Momo posting a lot of behind the scenes stuff for their albums and lives, and Sora was just doing her regular YouTuber stuff. Onto the girls individually, Shiina Natsukawa celebrated her 5th year as a solo artist, having a little event for it too. Her only role was Mono Narumi in Herodine's Run the Show, though this character did technically debut in a Honeywork film back in 2020. She did sing the 4th ending song with Sora Amamiya though, so that's cool. Aside from this, Shiina reprised her role in Magia Record. She had her 6th most recent song, Sasakure, which had a live music video. Last year was also her 2nd live tour, Makeover. 4 shows in May and 2 in June. She also had a joint concert with Anisong singer Haruka and composer Kayako. It was called the Connect Little Parade. She was on the cover of Voice Boardy magazine, volume 11, and finally, she won her most prestigious award, taking first place in the first ever Moi Toyota's Younger Sister Audition Grand Prix. Big congratulations to Shiina-chan. Moving on to Momo Asakura, she released her 3rd album, Apiecer. Apiecer? That's a difficult word to say. That's definitely not English. Hey, what do you know? It's actually an Italian word used to describe the tempo of a song. That's cool. Let's move on to Momo's anime roles. She actually had a decent amount. First, reprising her characters in Magia Record, Kaguya-sama, and Science Fell in Love. She debuted into the Arknights anime, voicing Medic. She was Hotaru in a Kebi Sailor uniform, and she was in Herodine's Run the Show as Hina Setoguchi. Like with Shiina, this character did debut in a Honeyworks movie, but this movie was actually back in 2016. Mocha was going to be at the Second Shot Festival in autumn, but she was in close contact to someone with COVID and had to cancel her appearance. But she did have her live tour Piecer and an event with Leo Eri. Her alongside Miku Ito were featured on the Maigo magazine, volume 35. Her by herself was on the April cover of the Seiyuu Grand Prix magazine. And aside from the YouTube stuff I mentioned earlier, she also released 3 music videos, all songs from her most recent album. Next up, Sora Amamiya released 2 best-of albums, one called Red and the other one Blue. There was also her single Love Evidence, the 2nd opening for Science Fell in Love. Anime roles would include 13 credits, actually less than I figured from the Sora Amamiya. I guess she wanted to take it a little easy this year, but that doesn't mean she didn't have any bangers. First reprising her roles in Science Fell in Love, 7 Deadly Sins, Rent a Girlfriend, Magia Record, and Isekai Quartet. New roles of Erika in a Kebi Sailor uniform, debuting into Princess Connect voicing Miyako. Then Sena Narumi in Herodine's Run the Show. You know the deal by now, old character but in a new series. Finally, she was Nazuna Nanakusa in Call of the Night, one of my favorite shows of the whole year. This year of 2023, you can expect more Konosuba, Rent-A-Girlfriend, and Our Last Crusade. Currently, she is a lead in Spy Classroom and a supporting role in Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. She had her live tour called Sky. That's what her name translates to. And finally, she was on the My Girl magazine, volume 34, same one as Sairei Date. Nice. And that's actually it for Trysail. I feel like there wasn't all that much, but the fact that all 3 of them had big tours plus regular Trysail stuff and their personal YouTubes, I'd say they didn't have much time for solo events. So, moving on to iRis, they sang the ending for Kakegururi Twin, their song Queen's Bluff, one of my favorite songs of the whole year. And you can find a live music video here on the tube, a regular version and a dance version, and even one where they sing in English for most of it. The group as a whole celebrated their 10th anniversary, and they will have a movie coming out in 2024. The girls had a Zepp show in Sapporo and a fan club event with some amazing outfits. Well, the Zepp costumes were actually also kind of amazing. The ladies were at the halftime show for a big basketball game early in the year. I'm not really going to get into too much detail about it because, I know none of you really care, so. The mascot's pretty cool though. They were at Animax as well as Anisama's Day 3, opening the day with Aina Suzuki, which is actually really cool, but they were on the same day as Trysail. I don't know why these two have never done a crossover. This year would have actually been perfect since it's the first time they've ever performed on the same day. Well, I guess they were all on the same day in 2018, but Trysail wasn't Trysail, just 3 solo performers, then as Million Stars as well. But fingers crossed for this year, I guess. Before I talk about the girls individually, I got 2 things to cover involving 3 or more of them. Pre-Chan had an event called Pretty Live All for One that had all of the girls, even Azuki. Then there is Irie Suzuki and Masayoshi Oishi's Annie song cover show. Last year we had Miyutan and Saki singing their favorite Annie songs. Yuki was there too, but she was in November of 2021, and I got a playlist of all of them here on the channel. So onto the girls individually with Miyu Kubota. Reprised her role in the Nijigasaki anime and in Jashin-chan, also voicing Itoha Karebayashi in Shinepost, but also Kojika Besho in Musashino, and Toto Asakura in the Dummy Head Mike show. This year she will debut into Another World with My Smartphone in Season 2, voicing Sakura, and Nijigaku's chibi spin-off is currently airing. Miyutan released a photo book called Update. Hell yes. Think this was her second, by the way. Her alongside Yuki were at the Karaoke Max event with some other cuties. Also her with a bunch of Seiyuu were at the Koizuka event. Her and Aina Suzuki had a radio Animage event, and then she was a guest at a live version of Aina's radio program. She went to Korea with Shu and Aguri representing Nijigasaki at AGF. Her with Diver Diva were at the Bandai Namco Fest and the XR Artist Superfest. And naturally she was at all of the shows for Niji's 4th and 5th lives. The last two things are that she did a reading drama for a Dracula story, and she was a guest at Mayu Saga's birthday event. Next up, the leader, Sakiyama Kita. She only had one anime role, that being Rakshata in Nijigasaki's second season. Saki-sama was in the River City Girls stage play, though this show did have to be cancelled for the same reason everything gets cancelled these days. There will be a new show sometime this year, but I'm not entirely sure when yet. And well, there's nothing actually else to say about her. She was at like 4 Prepara events and did a lot of iRis stuff. I guess that was her whole focus last year. So now, Himika Kanaya, she also only had one anime role. Tomomi Nishisugi in the League of Nations Air Force Aviation Magic Band's Luminous Witches. That's a mouthful. She was also a guest at Riho Ita's birthday event and went to a Twice live. If for some reason you don't know that group, they are K-pop, and Himi is part Korean. She also did an online singing event and did her very first drama reading for a story called To a New Tomorrow. The last two things, she did some modeling for Keigo Inoue, looking great, and she was very active on her YouTube channel. I'm talking 4 or more videos a month. Also doing a fun Squid Game cosplay at the beginning of the year. So next is Yu Serizawa. Iris's resident star pupil had 7 roles last year, reprising her roles in Tonikawa and Build Divide, debuting into the Princess Connect anime as Ayane. Kinda weird that it took so long since she's been performing with them since 2019, but she had new roles of Maria in Life with an Ordinary Guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout. I want you all to know every time I mention an anime that's more than 5 words long, I'm rolling my eyes the entire time and then I gasp for air after I'm finished. So that aside, she was also Ren in Shinepost, Minami in Orient, and Tsubasa's older sister in 4 People Lie in Their Own Way. This year, she's got In Another World with My Smartphone second season, and is currently in Handyman Saito in Another World and The Giant Beast of Ars. Later this year, she will also be in the second season of In Another World with My Smartphone. Yu-chan was at the Kyoto Premium Live. She had her 3rd live tour titled Your Number 1, the same name as her first full album. Her and Miyutan had a live event for Shinepost, and she was at a karaoke event that was different from the one Miyutan and Yuki were at. Yu was with some other familiar faces instead. Speaking of familiar faces, she was at the EJ My Girl Fest with these lovely ladies. Lastly, she was a guest on Aoi Koga's Nico program. Yuki Wakai, my personal favorite member, reprised her roles in Nijigaku's second season and Yatogame-chan, with the new role of Hikari in Teppen. She didn't get herself a dog, but her parents actually got one named Noah, and he's a Labradoodle. Very cute. She had 3 digital singles, YOLO, Lenaria, and Foundation. This 3rd one had a music video, and then there was a first live tour in October. She had a Christmas live event, a handful of live streams with other Teppen girls, a solo event for the radio station FM 802's Manami Wheel, and Yuki also appeared at the Sake Spring event as well. She was also a guest at one of Shuka's live shows with Saichi, and she actually just did some fun karaoke with Saichi and Rikopin. She attended one of Serizawa's live shows, an Avril Lavigne concert, and a Bruno Mars one as well. She even did a couple singing live streams on her Insta. Lastly, she was really into the World Cup, always posting about it, and kept watching even after Japan was out. She had some real dedication to it. You'd love to see it. I'm actually going to include Azuki Shibuya, even though she's not a member of iRis anymore. As you would expect, she had no new roles, and she had many various DJ events throughout the whole year, having at least one every month, which has been her main focus since she departed iRis back in 2021. But she was also with Denonbu at the Inazuma Rock Fest and at Bandai Namco Fest with them too. She did, however, miss out on Denonbu's full second live, unfortunately. The only other thing to mention is that she announced that she will no longer be active on Twitter as of January 1st, 2023. But luckily her Twitter is still up, so you can see everything that she's done up until that point. So with that, we have reached the ending. When I originally came up with this idea, I figured these girls would have a lot more stuff to talk about. But I guess they were all just focused on group stuff rather than the solo events that most of the other Seiyuu do. Either way, I hope you've enjoyed and found this useful. Please join me in the next one about an underrated little cutie. I look forward to seeing you there.